schwer. Also ich möchte etwas sagen, dass um ein Werk zu prüfen oder über Respekt. Ich erzähle nur, was ich gestern Abend erlebt und dann werde ich noch etwas sagen. Um 11 Uhr war ich im Bett mit 2 Kindern. Das war dunkel, das war alles ruhig. Es sind Leute gekommen, die haben 2 Stunden fast gebraucht mit Kindern, um sich zu installieren, mit vollem Licht und geredet. Also wie es wäre nur sie und die ganze Welt. Nur sie haben sich nur gekannt. Dann habe ich gedacht, ich kann nicht mehr schlafen, ich gehe raus. Also ich bin rausgegangen, zum Glück sind die Kinder weiter geschlafen. Aber ich will sagen, das ist nicht, weil sie sagen, wer Shimadaji ist, dass sie werden die Leute überzeugen. Das ist durch ihr Werk, ihr Verhalten, wie sie sind und nicht, was sie sagen. So, das würde ich sagen.
Ich glaube, mein Englisch ist zu schlecht, ich sage es auch auf Deutsch. Genau die Antwort jetzt darauf ist unsere Vision. Wir Frauen wollen ein Instrument der Liebe von Sri Mataji werden. Das wäre eigentlich das Einzige, was wir uns wünschen. Und dass das nicht immer klappt, das hat sie jetzt gesehen. Wir schaffen es manches Mal nicht. Aber ich bin draufgekommen, wenn wir Meditationen halten, gerade Frauen, und wir schreiben uns in die Hand, bitte Mutter, lass uns ein Instrument deiner Liebe werden. Das klappt wunderbar. Ich habe jetzt
Someone need to translate. Sorry. No, it's okay.
I mean, the main thing which she said is that we could just give a banner that Sri Mataji makes us the pure instrument of her love. I think this was the essence.
Please.
I don't know why I'm talking now, the pulse rate is very high. Maybe I say it in 2 minutes. I come from this area from the feminists. And I was very feminist when I was young. Because my father, he was very ill-treating my mother. She was a very good Lakshmi. And I thought I have to be very intelligent and self-confident, all these things. And in the beginning of my marriage, I'm sure it was not nice to my husband. It was like not together, but he was and I was. When I came to Satya Yoga, I found out that I liked all these things, that how my mother was and how we are like women. And then I like to express the compassion. And it still gives me a lot of center heart to express it. It's like a dilemma. You like to be a woman, and you like to express it, but maybe we can establish it somehow.
Wait, we are going to answer that, okay?
What I feel as a woman is not...
Stereo.
We have one yogini, she comes from America and she moved to Austria. And after some time she said to me, one thing I don't understand, why do the women not dare to speak up? Why don't they say anything, what's happening, what's wrong?
It's always the man doing everything, the programs and organizing everything. And yes, this is a good question actually. I don't know the answer, but I try to meditate upon it, and because I have the same problem. I feel that I have a lot to give, and I have difficulties to express it in the collectivity, and somehow one thing I found out in the last couple of years is that it has a lot to do with the Catholic Church and the way women were treated, and the way women who had something to say and who had wisdom to say were treated. And I think this created a lot of fear, a fear to express ourselves. But the only thing we can do is to work on it. We have to work it out. That's the only thing. We have to go through it. We have to give ourselves a push, and like me now, I'm shaking, but I'm talking. Just we have to try it, we have to shubit these things, we have to shubit fear and lack of self-confidence, and I think the things can only work out if we do it, if everybody tries to, because I know it's much easier to sit down and leave the stage to the man. It is easier somehow, but I think this is not what Shri Mataji wants from us. She wants us to give the message she wants us to show the women in the West how women can stand up and say something without being aggressive, without saying, well, I have the same value as the man and this and that. We know all these right-sided women in politics and everywhere. This is not the way, it's something else. It's a kind of smooth, motherly, loving way that we have to express ourselves. And in Sahaja Yoga, I think it works very well. We have families and we try to bring up our children in the Sahaj way and try to tell them the values that we were not missing, but this is what gives the man the balance, and this is how the man can develop their qualities in their way. And so I think, like, I never thought that I can speak so long.
As I'm married to Sabine, I have to completely agree that the power of a woman, I mean, if I take myself, who is rather some person who tends to be on the right side, and I'm a man, I And as Shimadaji said, there's a brake and an accelerator in the car. Without the accelerator, the car doesn't move. And without the brake, it cannot stop. And so it's the question, as Sabine mentioned, of the balance between those two parts, which are meant to be one, the brake, and the other one, the accelerator. And as a man, I have to say that I really appreciate that my wife has got this soothing power to cool down. And as we know that, especially in Austria, we had some time, when Shimadaji said that the Austrian ladies have a tendency to take the role of the accelerator, which creates an atmosphere which is too much on the right, which gets too hot. So I find it's very important that as a man we support our wives if they fulfill the role of somebody who is soothing. Because the soothing power is silent. The soothing power doesn't show off so much. And that's why many times we don't see it. And if we can express also that we appreciate this soothing power which comes from our women, then they might much less feel that they should do something else. This was the one thing which I wanted to say. And the other thing was actually a question which would be an answer also. And the question was, what could really harm us? And then, there might be 10,000 Catholic priests cursing us. This will never harm us. But there might be one yogi who thinks badly about another one. This will harm. It's one of the greatest traps for us at that level where we are now. Because we are completely protected by our Holy Mother. We are. But if one cell of Shimadaji's body fights with the other cell, that's like a cancer for Shimadaji. Because Shio took us into her body. It doesn't have to go to that level where we fight. It starts in the subtle. It starts as hatred in our heart. And hatred has many faces. It doesn't mean to have the face only that you want to kill some person. Hatred can be much more subtle. Whenever we think with some rage, some right side coming up about another person, hatred has already won us over. Whenever something else but love flows from us, hatred has already won. It's something so subtle. Whenever we get upset about another yogi, hatred again has won our hearts. And this is something which I feel that really, and maybe the only thing, which could harm the progress of Sahaja Yoga. If we start fighting against each other. So let's keep on the subtle level our heart pure towards our brothers and sisters. Which does not mean, there are two benches of people who are supposed to tell people if they find that something is going wrong. And it's always a temptation, because especially us, I can only talk about myself. Who is becoming leader? Mostly people who have something in the right side also. So I'm talking about myself only, I never can talk about others, but of course there's the tendency that the right side takes us over. As Gregor has said, you push the ego out of the door and it comes back through the window. And then it's so difficult to keep the heart clean. If some person has to be said, listen, if you do that, it's going to harm us. But still, it's a game. And in that game, the only thing what we can do is, I feel, just keep our heart completely clean. Keep our heart completely clean. Never let any hatred enter our hearts. Never let any feeling that somebody else has less value than us enter our hearts. Keep a complete respect towards us, whether the babies are crying or not, whether they stay there for 2 hours or not, doesn't matter, whatever it is. We might face 100 situations per day where we have the chance, the options, either to get angry or not, or to keep the love flow. Let's keep the love flow amongst each other.
I want to really strongly underline and support what Wolfgang has said. And I want to add a short thing that helps me personally and might help you also. That when we are very aware and very focused in our attention, and then we know almost a second when a negative thought or maybe some hidden influence within us starts working, starts giving us intentions, thoughts, emotions which we are not. But when we are aware of that and we increase the awareness, what we actually do is to witness the evil. And by that, immediately this primary evil state diminishes and the witness state increases. This is a subtle inner process which can be simply trained every day.